Trump called up CNBC and had some conversation. I guess they have a new program about farmers kicking them, the workers that are illegal immigrants, kicking them out the country, then having a program for them to come back in the country. Remember, that's one of the things I said months ago, that they're gonna have a hard time if they try and kick all these people out. So let's play this clip.
Yeah.
Back to their country with a pass back in legally, and we're doing things that are very difficult to do and very complex, but it works really well. We're sending them back, and then they're schooling, they're learning, they're coming in legally. We have a lot of that going on, but we're taking care of our farmers. We can't let our farmers not have anybody, these people, you can't replace them very easily. People that live in the inner city are not doing that work. They're just not doing that work. And they've tried, we've tried, everybody tried. They don't do it. These people do it naturally. I said, what happens if they get it to a farmer the other day? What happens if they get a bad back? He said, they don't get a bad back, sir, because if they get a bad back, they die. I said, that's interesting, isn't it? These are very, in many ways, they're very, very special people.
Okay. Interesting perspective. What's your thoughts on this?
At this moment, I have no thoughts on it. I wish this administration and the one prior to it would measure the impact of what they're doing and just not have to fix mistakes that are happening. Same with the lady that got fired from the labor and bureau. I think sometimes we get told as entrepreneurs to execute fast, but when you're doing it at this scale in government, I think you need to measure twice before you begin to cut. But what do you think? What are your thoughts on this?
I think that, okay, there's some truth to what he's saying. Mm-hmm. If we're gonna take emotional, of course, I don't think he's a good person. I think that he probably had negative intentions in some things he said, but there is some level of truth to what he's saying. You can't replace a job unless you have somebody else to do the job, or technology that can replace the job. If you don't have a physical person to replace the person or the technology, then you're going to be in a bad space. So the first part of what he said, as far as like, we can't find people to do these jobs. People in the inner cities don't want to do these jobs.
Or there's no training for them to do the job.
There's no training, you say?
For them to do the job in the inner city. I haven't heard of any initiatives or programs for just in our neighborhoods or where we grew up for them to even have the possibility of those jobs. Yeah.
But let's be honest. Nobody wants those jobs.
If somebody's been out of work for 6 months or 9 months, they'll take them. I agree that it's not a desired job, but I think those, what's that show Micro had? Ugly Job, where they would go to like plumbing and do all the jobs no one wanted to do. I think if a person's been out of work long enough and you got kids and mouths to feed, you'll make an exception.
I don't know about that, because I'm thinking like this. This is one of the hardest manual labor jobs that you can do as far as agriculture, right? You talking about people on a field picking watermelons and bananas, and it's hot outside and difficult conditions, and that's what we had to do when we first came to this country.
I agree.
That was difficult work.
Yeah.
So I have a high level of respect for people that can come to a different country and do that type of work. Absolutely. Because I can honestly say Americans don't want to do that job. People get unemployment. People just stay home and get unemployment.
I think it's true. I think two things can be true. As I said last week, two things can be true. Is it a desired job? Absolutely not. But if you are on the brink of being homeless, if it's that or not having a job to do that, I think some people will. And I hate the broad demonization of saying most Americans are lazy when the government and institutions have not done a great job of providing training and pipeline into said jobs. Just the process of applying for a job is too damn difficult now. Do you give pushback? I'm with
it. I don't think we're lazy, but we're pampered. We have a society that's pampered. pampered society, there's certain things that they're not gonna accept, right or wrong, right? Because you also got it. The flip side of that coin is that how much are they getting paid? So
that's a big point. Yep.
you doing this for $10 an hour, $8 an hour, you're still gonna be in the same. It's not like you do. It's okay if they're offering $100,000 a year to pick watermelons, then okay, you might have a group of people that'll be interested in doing that. $30,000 a year to stay out in the sun all day. People are not going to do that. Americans not going to do that. He's not wrong in what he's saying. His delivery, as always, was obnoxious.
Could be better. Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, even the thing of like, okay, if they get a bad brat, if they don't have, I understand what he's trying to say there. They're going to work through the pain, which is true, right? Because they don't have the luxury of having
hunger.
They don't have workers' comp. They don't have sick leave. They don't have. They have a. I need to stay in America. But that's why you got to have a lot of appreciation for these people, man. They will work in illness, sickness, and for him to say that, I think it was just like kind of spoke about the arrogance of American. But it's just like, yo, if they get a bad break, they're die. Meaning, like, if they're not working, that means that they're dead.